Bakit tayo ganito? Ang Pilipinas ang may victory. Tayo ang may arbitral ruling sa UNCLOS. And yet, you have Malaysia, Vietnam, other countries, they are fighting for their EEZ. They are drilling and surveying on their own. They don't have these discussions on what China thinks. Why are we here, sir?
Because that was inculcated to the public by Duterte. When he became president, he said, it will be a massacre. We don't have a chance. Sabi niya, do not patrol the EEZ, only the territorial sea. Sinabi niya yun. And sabi niya, I already allowed China to fish in our EEZ. Lahat ng violation ng Constitution, ginawa niya na. But since he controlled Congress and the Senate, nothing happened. That is why that kind of thinking has seeped into the consciousness of the Filipino. We have to reverse that. We have to think like the Malaysians and the Indonesians.
And the Vietnamese.
And the Vietnamese.
Okay, but let's balance the conversation. No? So, Attorney Harry Roque said, former President Duterte did what he did simply because in 2012, and I wanted to ask you this, when the late President Aquino went full frontal on China, right? Sent a Navy ship to Scarborough. And I remember the late Albert Del Rosario said that there was an intervention on Scarborough and there was an agreement, a gentleman's agreement of some sort that, was it brokered by the US? That both ships should withdraw from Scarborough.
Yes, it was brokered by the US Assistant Secretary Kurt Campbell.
Yes, so that was 2012. So the Philippines sent its one Navy ship and there were, I believe, 30 ships coming from China. And the US brokered it that both should withdraw. The Philippines withdrew and China did not withdraw. So ang nangyari is Duterte kept saying, that we lost Scarborough Shoal to China under Aquino's term, under his time. And Attorney Harry Roque is saying that if we keep doing this, Ayungin will end up the same as Scarborough Shoal. Parang in effect, hindi naman natin kaya to panindigan. Ganun ang punto. Aatras din tayo, parang ganun.
Well, pag ganyan, umatras na tayo hanggang sa territorial sea natin. Because if you follow that line of argument, then China will get everything. But why is Malaysia and Indonesia being successful in getting the gas in their EEZ? Because they have a consistent, coherent policy.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of Scarborough Shoal, there was the U.S. brokered through the Assistant Secretary Campbell of the State Department, brokered a mutual withdrawal.
Yeah.
And we both agreed. And then China reneged. So there, right there that you cannot trust China. That's why we cannot trust China on a Ayungin Shoal. That's why we have to learn that lesson. Remember when China first occupied Mischief Reef, China said it is just a fisherman's shelter. You can take advantage. But what is Mischief Reef now? It's the largest air and naval base of China in the South China Sea. The Chinese call it their Pearl Harbor in the South China Sea. And that has been the narrative, the factual, what actually happened over the last 50 years. China keep on saying, in Fiery Cross Reef, China's occupied it in 1988 and said, we are just putting a weather radar station to help UNESCO in its global oceanic survey. But what is Fiery Cross Reef now? It's an air and naval base, a huge air and naval base of China. So that is the narrative of China to lull us into believing that its intentions are peaceful, but they're actually invading us. So we should not listen to China. We should look at the facts, look at history, look at what they have actually done in Mischief Reef, Fiery Cross Reef, Subi Reef, and what they actually did in Scarborough Shoal. So actually I'm saying we should bring this issue of territorial dispute to the International Court of Justice. Challenge China. If you say that you owned it since 2,000 years ago, prove it before the International Court of Justice. Because they don't have any document. The first document that China came out claiming the Spratlys was in 1947, very late in the game.